the first Euro Best Young Creatives Gold Medal and the very first spot for Georgia on the Cannes Lions jury, Often invited as a speaker and jury member at international creative conferences, Giorgi runs illegal cha-cha business, wait a second, under Bodici brand, leads copywriting and digital creative courses at the Georgian Institute of Public Affairs, and organizes the birthday of Khinkali, try that again, Khinkali, celebrated worldwide every year on October 10th. Please welcome him. Give him a round of applause. Next, we got, please welcome Giorgi, a creative director and executive producer with a background in interactive experiences, game development, immersive media, and he's led over 50 projects across real-time 3D branded worlds and original games, collaborating with partners like Sotheby's and Frida Kahlo Corporation and the Elvis Presley Foundation as the founder of a 35-person studio. Giorgi has overseen everything from creative direction to deal making and is passionate about crafting experiences that are both technically sharp and emotionally meaningful. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Bring in Giorgi. That's right, that's right. We got two amazing people. And our last guest, Alan Van Dam. He started his career at the William Morris Agency in the late 1990s, working in a talent, packaging, and new media departments. Alan has worked on movies including Expendables, Lamborghini, Ice Age franchises, Simpsons, Horton Hears a Who, Rambo, Last Blood, Furious 6, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and Trainspotting. This is just to name a few. This guy is amazing. He's incredible. Please give it up for Alan Van Dam. And listen, as I said, we got a gift for you guys. The gift is we have an awesome little video that we'd love to play for you.
Get the center seat.
Right before this panel begins. And we're going to bring out our superhero, Clark Stacy, as well, moderating the panel. Thank you, thank you. All right, y'all, let's watch this video. We got time? Here we go.
Oh, we got sound? Is there a noise? Sound?
Nice. Oh, Alan Van Dam, yeah.
Beatbox.
There's no audio?
The brain will fill in the sound.
Keep going, man.
Horton here's the Ice Age, yeah.
You've seen this, you felt this.
I'll tell you what, visually, these are some of the biggest franchises that you've seen. If you guys can name any of these movies, shout them out. I'll give you a high five. All right, 5 minutes.
Simpsons, the movie, that was big.
That's huge. I mean, anyone working on The Simpsons is a success story in themselves.
That's it.
Woo!
All right.
We might replay that in a little bit with some sound, but that's just
We should all have the reel.
a little hint. Enjoy that.
Wow, I wish my portfolio looked like that. That's something else.
Truly.
So we're wrapping up here just talking pure creativity. What we have up here on stage are artists working in different media, working from different perspectives for different audiences, and we're just gonna riff up here on the creative process because I think all of these guys have very interesting things to say about how what their process looks like, how they got started. I'm gonna start off. I mean, from games to film to cha-cha. Come on.
It's a big range, big range.
Come on. What other tech conference gives you this? There's none. Let's just start off down at the end here. I want to hear about what you've been working on lately and what your creative process is like. Let's start with what you're working on these days right now and how you got going on it.
All right. Thank you for your leading up to this and this entire day of just blasting our minds with some amazing questions and the answers that they elicit. Design is a big part of what we do at Holy Motors, and design is a big word, right? We see it as a way of solving problems and maybe starting the conversations that could lead to some other people solving some problems. And I guess one of the themes is always creative, playing around with the symbols that kind of inspire, and usually they are for the good of the commercial brands, but sometimes we try to be a bit more like relevant to the times and create some stuff that is relevant for the society. And just us being a voice and becoming, because like usually like agencies try to step away and do their work from the shadows and be behind the scenes and use the brands as their vehicles, but sometimes it's also a great journey to speak up and to turn your ideas into, you know, vehicles themselves. So there's this one particular work I feel is very like relevant to today and what the like country is going through. It's kind of a way for us to create a design solution for a very pressing issue, because, you know, like Georgia is going through a lot, and we've been trying to get closer to the European Union and the values that we feel and we share. But at some point also this flag of Europe with like so many stars has become a symbol of seeing us losing our national you know, like identity, and some people also like burn it in the streets. So we came up with a solution. We stole the stars, the crosses that the like Georgian flag has, and turned them into our own like vision of a Georgian flag of Europe. It's a way of creating an idea that we can survive in the European Union as well and not lose our identity. So that's, I brought it, and it's been here on the stage. It's the idea that it's like a design solution for a problem that probably needs some more solutions, but it's like one of the things that have been stuck with us, and it's been going around the festivals, winning some awards, and I feel it's also a great stage for it to shine. So yeah, I brought a physical prop.
Yeah.
Video, I brought a prop.
He's got a game for us to play. I wasn't prepared for this.
It looks great.
No, that's beautiful. I love the intersection of design and statecraft there, right? I mean, you're really helping guide the conversation here, just visually, and that's
Exactly, because there's always so many lines you can cross, and it's just putting idea in your head. That's all we do, and we don't need to be aggressive about it or to be like something. It's just like something you see and you interpret it, and it's a way for us to unite people rather than divide them, because we've seen so much division over the years, like in the States as well.
Yep.
I think this is a very common theme all around the world. So I feel that symbols that unite are the ones we should be trying to push.
absolutely. All right, Alan, tell us what's the latest in your world and how you got going on that.
Oh, well, I kind of talk a little bit about the design part, what
Yeah,
we
please.
do, and the sense of incorporating design in the filmmaking process is really, it's a visual language base. And for us, is at the end of the day, is how to tell the story visually. And animation is basically a birth of that. And when you have something similar where a symbol that's agnostic to any type of language, then it brings a different type of perspective and inclusion together. And as you see now, more and more of our language now has moved to at least a third of it is visual based. So no longer speaking in text, you're doing emojis, you're doing different things. So as you're going back in time and history, you see all the birds and simple in the caves, we're kind of going to that in a way, back to visual language communication. So,
Right, back to something that's just more symbolic and kind of visually immediately impactful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's in the sense of how design is being more of use in our medium.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your creative process right now is starting more from that perspective, that
More for
visual
us in
language.
the filmmaking process and design is it's really characters. If anything, it's the story, then after that is the characters, which is the character that you're really telling the story about. And so as all the film that you've seen is all mostly character-based, and those are the characters that the audience kind of relate to. And then within that little 30 minutes to 120-minute space that you're there sharing that moment and that
Right.
relatable emotion, that's what, I feel that is the real synergy.
Okay, all right. Giorgi, to you then.
Right, so I don't have anything visual to show you guys right now. So my experiences are more about playing them. So if you guys get the chance to get your hands on a computer, you're probably gonna see and play them. So my creative process is breakdown in multiple steps. The first thing as a creator myself is to observe. That will be the very first thing that I would do as an artist, as a creator. Observe visually, observe observe by hearing, observe by smelling. Everything, like design and art is a collective of the experiences that we have in our life that we transpose through human emotion. The second step is understanding myself as a designer, because the people that I'm working with trust me as a designer, and I have to understand myself very well, but also understanding the people that I'm working with. Speaking strictly from my perspective of working with international clients and brands. And the third step is to dream big, like to have the courage to dream about an idea that could have a huge impact, think about how to execute it, and then get my feedback on the ground and start working. So that's basically all 3 steps that I follow in my creative process.
All right, all right. That's actually really helpful because that's easy to visualize, and I think that people can relate to that. So I'm gonna try and tie this back into our tech conference-ness here, right? And I'm gonna start here and go back down the line because I'd like to know about the role of new technologies in your creative process now. And that probably most people jump immediately to generative AI. That's probably part of it. And maybe that's something that's changed your creative process. But in general, what new technologies are you working with? How has it changed the way that you approach your creative process?
We, at our agency, we had to be very flexible. We had to work on multiple platforms, not only on one. So while we have developed fully custom games, developed fully on our platform, we had to adapt to other existing platform where was demand. And I think that's a very important part of working in the tech sector. You always have to stay ahead of the curve, and you always have to be creative, not only in what you do, but with the tools that you use. Obviously, right now we are heavily using AI, and it has improved our process tremendously. We have been using, from a 3D modeling perspective, we have been using AIs like Rodin. I don't know if too many people know about, that allows you to do 3D models ready for implementation and animation. We have been using ChatGPT, Midjourney for iteration. It has massively sped up the process, but it's not the only factor that defines the creative process, right? It's not only like, we cannot only rely on AI. We have to be adaptable and include AI as a complementary item in our creative process.
For us, we use very similar tool as what you've been saying in our creative process. There's different parts that we adapted in production to make it more efficient in a way of basically the workflow. And in the creative process, we basically use it more so in the exploration and discovery era. And we haven't really produced a feature film on AI, or there's, development in that area. Mostly a lot of the stuff you see now that we've been shooting, just like in the past, volumetric stages, green screens. We have done some digital personalities that we've created. It's almost animal-like characters. We're doing that, and then constantly looking for new tools to tell the story. That's what we've been using. We're realizing technology is a new form of storytelling.
Completely agree. It's like, it's everywhere. It can't really, you can't go over it. Out of a sudden, like my Georgian friends have, mastered English language. Post on LinkedIn is now like Shakespeare. That's good. But I think in times like this, when technologies are taking over, we'll mastered the art of creating a bit of like analog like pouches in our timetables. Like long lunch is like the greatest technology we've discovered exists. Like shout out to Nick, my partner, who kind of like it creates the conversations, the human conversations, give like meaning to all the technology that we use every day. So we're trying to keep track of what's new. The collaboration tools like Figma and stuff is amazing. It has done like wonders for us. But it's now we're trying to focus not to lose the human touch, and this idea of using like pencils to take notes and pens to just to have this connection with your body while creating the work is also something that we've come to value more and more these days.
Okay. So, I think for creatives, especially people working in visual symbols and metaphor the way that you guys do, one of the challenges of generative AI is not that it's limiting your ideas, it's that it's kind of blowing it open, making it harder to stay focused. What do you do in your creative process to kind of keep things focused on around your goal and not get lost in all of the different possibilities of directions that you can go? How do you kind of pull the laser beam in and focus on the ideas that's going to work?
Gut is, I think, our best judge of what we are working with always. The hunch that you have something, you can't really prove that mathematically sometimes, but for us, we kind of chase ideas and sell ideas and have other people believe in our ideas, and in a way, it's a great tool to have, something it, gives you a bit of edge, but in the end, the one that chooses the arbiter of things is still a human, and it's us kind of making that decision that probably always involves some risk, but is always a human decision. So I feel that it has sped up our process for sure. Now we are more adaptable. Now even the storyboards take less time probably to do for ads, and sometimes we get some extra ideas for maybe some research about into the metaphors that we can use for a certain brand that sells shoes. But in the end, we have to put the trust in the creatives and the minds that are still human, because we're still creating stuff that is the audience is also human. So I feel that this gut thing still works.
Yeah.
For at least 2 more years. Then I'm not sure what's happening.
How about you, Alan?
For us, is really the discipline and the commitment to an idea. Once we basically decide to go, then the team commits, and then it's like a relationship, and then we go down that path, and then we really put the faith in the process. Because in our business, everything's changing every day. The only uncertainty is certainty. So for us, is always just placing the faith in the individual that we, have put together to create that that project.
So trust the process, I guess, as they say at Pixar.
Trust in the process and have the commitment and discipline to execute.
Okay. All right. Giorgi, what do you think?
Yeah, sometimes during the creative process, we are being faced with very difficult decisions for us as artists. And that's probably one of the most difficult things you have to do when you're developing a project. Art is very subjective. You cannot say what's right or wrong, but you work towards a commitment towards someone that commissioned art from you, or a commitment to yourself. So I'm gonna quote from my mentor, who has taught me a lot of things about design and about art. George, if something looks and feels wrong, it's probably because it is. And in that moment, you gotta take a decision based on your gut instinct.
Trust your gut. No, I like that. Especially when it comes to visual communication. I mean, what else do you have to go on, right?
Exactly.
So let's say I am an Art Valian student in games, in marketing and branding, in film, and whatever. I'm at that jumping off point of my career, and I'm coming into this era of generative AI and uncertainty in investment. And where's media going? Where's social media going? What's the relationship between my personal branding and what I'm going to do professionally? What piece of advice would you give me setting off in your world, whether it's games or film or marketing and branding and general creative work? What piece of advice would you give me to send me out into this world and be successful?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I'm the first one to answer. Yeah, I wish I could have a crystal ball. But what I can say about generative AI, First of all, AI is not perfect. It doesn't have reasoning right now. It's just, as ChatGPT says it does, but in fact, it really doesn't. It's just very good at recognizing patterns. So I don't know how many of you have used ChatGPT to generate images, but sometimes you generate an image, and along the way, you ask to improve that image, and that image turns from the image that you initially generated into something completely different. So it's completely irrational. It needs someone to operate that. However, the very technical jobs, there is a problem with those right now because AIs can basically take some of the more technical jobs that are out there, and I think we have to adapt as humans to AI, and we have to understand that we are living in a great era of opportunity of entrepreneurship, of personal entrepreneurship, right? Because we previously lived in a very industrial area where everybody was going to work, having a job, clocking in, clocking out. And with AI, it unlocks, on the bright side, an immense potential for creativity for humans to continue to develop and expand. And I think this is great for us and anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur nowadays.
For having to go first with a difficult question, I think you pulled that off. You landed that well, man.
Thanks.
Alan,
There you go.
You want to go first?
Well, I come from the background of storytelling. So for me, it's always been tell your story. All of these tools that are available today is just another form for you to bring your story to life, which we didn't have growing up, which is a much different medium. So just like part of my childhood growing up, if you wanted to go make a movie or tell a story, there's different gates that we have to open to get that. Now you have it in your hand. You just turn it on and you're on. And so for me, it's, if you can take a white sheet of paper and a pencil and put down your idea, and that sheet of paper that you can take to someone and convince that person, that's your key to success. If you can't put it all in the 8 by 10 sheet of paper, it doesn't really exist.
that's some alpha right there, guys. That is actually a really great piece of advice. So.
And this really ties in what I was thinking about this kind of question, because the story that especially the young people are trying to tell, I guess, and what we are also trying to tell is our own story in terms of what our identity as a creative is. And I've come to notice that the greatest way to build up that identity is not by yourself sitting in a dark room somewhere thinking about who you are. It's about putting your work out there and letting the audience shape you into the diamond. Like sometimes that is really a path that if I knew a bit earlier, kind of like I would probably have started like sharing more of my work. Use everything you can. Like internet is a very vast place for you to exhibit some of your ideas that even go beyond the 8 by 10. Yeah, but still it has to exist somewhere, and it has to be accessible, and others should be able to see it and criticize it, hate it, or love it, but it will tell you what you should do next. And without putting yourself out there, there's no way that anyone can ever really know who you are. So I feel that just post. That's one real great advice.
Nice.
I mean, the key is to be able to balance your, financial responsibility and then your aspiration, your ambitious aspiration, to an executable plan, right? So you got to have all these pieces kind of into three to understand that can work.
And like you were saying, I think it all comes back to storytelling. Right?
Yes. So, the big part of my job is to help bring ideas to life, and then my medium is the film medium. And the same with all you guys, where you're taking the design and you're bringing it to life, and that's storytelling.
Yeah. I think I could keep talking art and design with you guys for the rest of the night, but we're out of our allotted time, and I want to see if we've got a minute for
We can do a question and
Questions,
play the video.
and then we have a treat
Sound.
for you. We have that incredible portfolio video now with sound.
A never
Not-
before seen video with
Not
sound.
not beatboxed by Christopher.
Well, this time we're gonna go outside so much.
Anybody got a question? Hands up if you got a question. If not, I might be beatboxing.
Everybody
You
wants
know
to
what?
see the video with sound because I
No.
All
Good
right.
job, guys.
Yes.
Everybody's speechless.
no sound. We're promised sound.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And let's say thank you to three very creative humans here for coming and sharing their perspective. I've learned a lot and really appreciate you guys taking the time. So thank you.
Round of
Thanks
applause
so
for these
much.
amazing
Thank you for
panelists
having
and
us.
guests. Thank you. Give them some love. Give them some love. Thank you, guys.